Trump is losing the war in Iran. Why am I saying this? Only because I believe it to be true. We need to understand what type of warfare this is. This is asymmetrical warfare, where either side is fighting a different fight. The US pounded Iran in the first few days of this war, but the IRGC responded immediately by closing the Strait of Hormuz, something that they've proven to be extremely good at doing. The IRGC aren't directly targeting the US military. If they did, they'd be picking a fight that they'd be destined to lose. But instead, they're threatening the slow-moving and easy-to-target oil ships that use pass through the Strait of Hormuz. And the US are proving that it is almost impossible for them to protect these ships. That's why Project Freedom was cancelled. Project Freedom was cancelled after only 2 days because in those 2 days, the US military was successful in only guiding 2 ships out through the Strait of Hormuz. So Donald Trump cancelled a mission before it could be deemed to be a failure. And now the US have their own blockade in place. And the question becomes, who can best withstand the lengthy closure of the Strait of Hormuz? The US blockade is crippling the Iranian economy for sure. But the IRGC live by a doctrine of martyrdom, meaning that not only are they willing to die for their cause, but they view dying for the survival of their regime as being the highest honor that could possibly be bestowed upon them. So economic pressure is absolutely not going to work on the Iranians. Trump, on the other hand, will eventually succumb to economic pressure, I believe, which will come in the form of oil prices that are far higher than where they already are, which will lead to higher inflation, which will lead to higher bond yields, which will eventually lead to a negative shock to the stock market. If you'd like to understand this war in much more detail, the link to a 30-minute video is in the notes below.